Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nancy Nesbitt. I'm the director here at the Vancouver Community College Foundation office. We're technically the fundraisers for the school, but we just also love to volunteer and help out. And this is a pretty fun one to help out with. So we're glad you're interested in learning more about VCC. And today we're going to talk to you about design, including fashion, graphic design, music, and jewelry, art and design. But before we start, we did check to see, hopefully you can all hear us. That's great. Hopefully you can also see my screen that has a slide up that says design and music. And just to kick things off, to make sure everyone's kind of awake, I'm going to start a poll. It's a super, super short one. Can everybody see that now? If you wouldn't mind just letting us know, when do you think you're going to start your program at VCC, or what's your goal? What would you like to start? And I'm going to just let this run for a minute while we keep talking. So before we continue, I just also would like to begin by acknowledging that we are on the traditional and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, which include the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. So we thank them for allowing us to work and play here on their lands. The way the session is going to roll today, just to give you a kind of a heads up of the framework, I'm also going to let you know that this session is being recorded. So I just wanted you to know that. So you can keep your cameras off if you're shy. If you want to turn them on when you're speaking or asking questions, that's fine. If our group is small enough, we'll just open up for questions after, and you can open your cameras up then. If it gets to be too full, we might ask you to just interact with us through the chat. So we have a co-host, Erin Hack. You can see she's on the screen there as well, and she's our tech moderator too. So if anything goes funky, or if you have a question and you're not sure, please feel free to put it in the chat and we'll try to make sure you get what you need. So today, like I said, we're going to go through a few different programs. Each coordinator will be given a couple of minutes to speak about what they offer. The Q&A will follow after. We'll also explain to you how to have a chance to win a $1,000 entrance award, which is always really exciting. And there's also, just so you know, an advisor Zoom group that is set up until 5 p.m. So if you don't get your questions answered today or during this part, you can always check over there. And if you have a question for an advisor during this session, you can see Rajesh Kapoor, his tile is up there, and then Lucelina is here from Continuing Studies. So hopefully between the two of them, someone will be able to answer your advising question. And Erin is asking in the chat if anyone needs an ASL interpreter to please let us know and we'll go get someone for you. Okay, so our poll results are telling us that 43% of you want to start right away at VCC. So that's 2021, and then 29% are in 2022. And then we have 14% that are 2024 or later, and then 14% aren't sure yet. So thanks for playing. It's really helpful for us to have that kind of information. So to kick off, the first speaker I'm going to ask to address you is Sarah Murray, who's our coordinator from Fashion Design. So Sarah, would you like to kick off your session?
Yeah, hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm the program coordinator for fashion. We have two different programs in fashion at VCC. One is our merchandising program. This is for people that are interested in the business of fashion. So if you are interested in styling or marketing or retailing, that is the program for you. It is a part-time certificate program offered in the evenings, all online. And it gives a really great overview of the fashion industry as a whole. For classes that include everything from fashion history to trend forecasting, and buying and merchandising and kind of everything in between. So that is for, like I say, the business side, merchandising. The other program that we have is our Fashion Design and Production Diploma program, and that we actually just celebrated our grads with our first ever fashion film that we showcased in partnership with Vancouver Fashion Week. That showcased their final collections. Those final collections, they spend 6 months preparing for them, planning everything, designing, creating the patterns, constructing the pieces as well. That is kind of the culmination of the 2-year program. It begins in their first year when they're doing their fashion cycle classes, and those classes take students through the full cycle of the fashion industry. So again, you start with design, then you're drafting, constructing, marketing, and finally sales. Excuse me, the sales are done in a bunch of different ways. So you have a whole lot of different experiences and have a lot of opportunities to engage with the industry as well through guest speakers, but also through those projects, meeting buyers and factories. And our students go on and complete the program with a 120-hour practicum, so they get some experience in the industry and hopefully land a job as well. There are quite a few opportunities here in the city with some big companies like Aritzia and Lululemon here, as well as a lot of smaller and mid-sized businesses. Our program starts for fashion design, starts September 2021, and that's an application process. Merchandising begins in May, and that is simply to register for the classes that are being offered. My email is on the screen there, so if you do have any questions afterwards, you can always email or pop them in the chat. Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you, Sarah. Did anyone want to ask a quick question now, or are you okay with, we'll carry on and we'll move on to the next segment, and then if you wouldn't mind, we'll just return to you towards the end. So next up, I'm going to invite John to speak to you. I just want to make Bantados, is that correct?
Yes, that is.
Sorry, John, I'm butchering your name. And John's brought with him an alumnus. Marvin's here as well. So they're going to speak to you about the graphic design program at VCC. Welcome.
Awesome. All right, so hi everyone, my name is John. I'm actually one of the instructors here in the graphic design department at VCC. I'm currently teaching UX, UI, and web design, so more on like the web side, and I'll hand it over to Marvin to introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Marvin. I graduated from the 2-year VCC design program in 2018. So what I do now is I'm a merchandise and product developer. So in addition to merchandising, I also help out with product photography and e-commerce development.
Awesome. So design is one of those fields that's just really big and really encompassing. And we've noticed that there's been a need for a varied skill set in today's job market. So part of our program, it's a 2-year full-time program that covers print design, web design, and development, video, and also offers some opportunities for independent design exploration so you can build your expertise. So not only just getting a general overview, but the ability to specialize as well. And I'll hand over to Marvin to talk about what his daily duties in the industry.
Yeah, so my daily duties definitely have changed drastically over the past 2.5 years that I've been working at my company now. I work at a logistics and merchandising company called Market Branding. So initially, it was a lot about creating products and merchandising for different and various clientele, ranging from data companies to high schools and to even some hospitals as well. And a lot of that was general merchandise, like just throwing designs on shirts or bottles, or even like pens, pencils, anything that could be branded in typically an office setting. And then what's happened with the pandemic is that there's been a major shift into e-commerce development. So a lot of Shopify sites. We're constantly working on Shopify sites for all of our clientele now. And in addition to e-commerce, there's also been a big push for big a push for PPE, so branded masks and even branded sanitizer bottles. And lately, it's been a lot of learning about how to brand on different products, and kind of figuring out the ins and outs of how to get X design on Y product. And it's been a very fulfilling, if tedious, process a lot of the time, because the industry is always developing and changing as the world does too.
Awesome. Thanks, Marvin. So talking about just reeling back to the program itself. So as mentioned before, it is a 2-year full-time program. We've actually refreshed the program as of last year to help improve on training on terms of soft skills as well. So not only do you get to learn things like sketching, illustration, video editing, but you get to learn soft skills like collaboration and self-direct learning as well. Another thing that also makes our program unique is the focus on work integrated learning. So for 6 months out of the year, you'll be working on real client work. So we'll bring in clients from around the community, businesses, organizations, and our students will do different projects with them. Recently, our students have done branding for a dance studio, a cookbook for a group industry entrepreneur, a bunch of series for wall murals, as well as helping to design the site for the Learning Center here at VCC. So in addition to that client work as well, students will also go on a 3 to 4 week practicum at the end of their second year. So working full time with one of our industry partners, mostly design studios and advertising agencies. Marvin, do you want to talk about your practicum experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of the funny thing with the practicum experience is that where I did my practicum, market branding, is where I work now full time. And I also lead in the practicum teaching now too. So what happens with it's different, it varies from location to location and business to business, but what happens with our particular practicum is we go through the very basics of start to finish product design. So the student will end up, we'll hand them over a project. So X company is looking for Y product, and I go through the whole design process with them, and all of the different things that they need to keep in mind when designing for merchandising and for branding as well. And by the end of the process, it depends on timeframes, but by the end of the process with our practicum, the student will actually get to see a physical product that will be going to a real life client. And not only are they going to be working on their own merchandising products for one of our clients, they also touch on a little bit of e-commerce to understand how that works on their end, and a little bit of product photography as well.
Awesome. And just to wrap up here, the last thing that I want to say is, as part of this program, you are going to be with your, it is cohort based, so you'll be studying with the same group the entire 2 years. So that way, you really turn into, you get to really gel with your classmates. It becomes a good, safe environment for exploring creative skills and failing without being judged as you push yourself creatively. So,
thank you two so much. Sorry to rush you off.
No worries.
No, it's okay. It's all good.
If anyone has any further questions, make sure you tag them at the end there. I'm going to move on just to make sure that everybody that's here gets their time. And so Lawrence Malrop is going to be next from our music department. So Lawrence, we welcome you to speak about your programs.
Hi, thanks for the welcome, Nancy, and welcome everybody who's here. If anyone's interested in music, I'll just be a few minutes here and I'll talk about our program. At VCC, we're located at near the Clark Drive SkyTrain station near Commercial Drive. So we're in a great spot for community in Vancouver. Our students take one of 3 different programs. We have a preparatory music program, and that's for people that maybe have some experience playing music, but don't have a high skill level. Maybe their sight reading is not as good, or they need to work with their ear training or that kind of thing. And so the preparatory program runs from September to May, and as all the other 2 that I'm going to tell you about. We also have a degree program at the higher end, and then in between we have our diploma program. The diploma program is 2 years long, and the Bachelor of Applied Music degree is also 2 years long. So potentially you could be with us for 5 years, and that sometimes happens. Our program is quite wide open. We have all kinds of different kinds of ways of participating in music. We're open to vocal students, instrumentalists, composers, electronic music, classical music, traditional classical music, jazz, pop, rock, world music, percussion, all kinds of different instruments and voice types and styles are all welcome at VCC. So I'd like to just point out a couple of things. Our core competencies are quite strong. We're very strong on skills at VCC Music. And one of the things about us is that our faculty are all really highly regarded and well-trained. And you can actually catch up on all our activities on Facebook, and that's just VCC Music. That's fairly easy. And we're on Instagram as well at vcc.music. And you can find out about all the different things that are going on. We've got a lot of highly placed alumni, and we always like to focus on them during Alumni Week every year. At our school, every week we have a performance opportunities class every Wednesday, and students will perform twice a term and be heard by an audience of their peers. We also have up to 11 ensembles, so we have a lot of different kinds of music available, as I mentioned before. And let me think what else I wanted to say. One of the new things we have is we have a singer-songwriter stream. So we have Eric Severinson working with us. So students that are vocalists as well as write their own music now have a dedicated instructor for that area. I also should point out that in the degree program, we go all the way to having quite strong scholarly stream there. So we have advanced seminars, world music, and classes that would fit in that. We often have students transfer. One of our recent success stories I'll just share is that David Blake, who came to finish his degree with us, is actually going to be teaching at New York University in the fall. He's going there to complete his master's, but meanwhile, they hired him on as the jazz guitar instructor. We also have Juno Award nominated band called Mazacote, which is a Latin jazz band with Malcolm Aiken and a bunch of alumni from our school. And those are just recent as of the last few weeks. So I'd recommend you go on Facebook, check us out, follow us on Instagram. And of course, questions in the chat are welcome, and I'll follow up on those after I stop talking here. So thanks very much. And that's music@vcc.ca.
I'll help you out, Lawrence. There's one quick question there about what distinguishes your program from UBC's. Do you want to take that before we move on to the next?
Sure, I can. That's a great question because there are so many great music schools in the Lower Mainland area. UBC Music, from my understanding, is that, well, I actually went there. UBC Music is a classical music focused school, fairly traditional that way, although they're really catching up with broadening out their program a fair bit. I would say there's a lot of parallels, and really the best thing to do is check out what you can find out on the web about both schools. I'm happy to answer more questions about those kind of things. There are lots of schools to choose from. Yeah, I am an alumni. That's right. I went to other places as well. So I would just recommend you get informed about them all. Our school is broader, is the way I would put it. We cover a lot more ground in terms both of education-wise and in terms of the styles and ways of engaging with music. We're quite a real-world school. One of the things that we focus on is in our career opportunities stream is to get people learning how to find funding, how to put on concerts, how to wrap a cable, how to get a grant for your projects, how to program a recital. All the different areas that you would need as a working musician. And that would be one focus where we're quite a bit different. So thanks for that question.
Yeah, we can speak to that. We've definitely borrowed on the VCC Music support on many events. Next up, I think Karen Jones was going to speak on our jewelry arts program. Sorry, my mouse has gone insane, but I'm going to invite Raj because I believe, sorry, my mouse has completely lost it. There we go. Jewelry art and design is up next. Aaron, you didn't see Karen in the group either, right? You're muted, sorry.
No, we haven't seen Karen Jones yet, so maybe if Raj could speak to it. There
Yeah.
was another music question still in the chat as well.
Okay, I think we'll go to Raj first to make sure we cover jewelry art and design, and then we'll go back to the questions at the end. So Raj has agreed to help us out, so please jump in, and if you could share a little bit about the jewelry art and design program at VCC. Thank you.
Sure, Nancy. So I'm speaking on behalf of Karen Jones, who is the department head for our jewelry program. So if I don't cover something that you have questions on, feel free to email her. We will provide you her email address on the chat function momentarily. So the Jewelry Art and Design program is a diploma program. It's a 2-year program, full-time, offered once a year. So if you wish to start the program, the only time that you can start this program is in September. Applications are accepted throughout the year, but there is a deadline for applications. This year it was end of March. However, if seats do open up, do get in touch with an advisor, and if there are seats available, there's always an opportunity to apply to this program. So a lot of you who are interested in the program might be wondering, what do I learn in this program? This program, to start off in this program, you don't have to have too much knowledge about the jewelry program, the jewelry making, because that's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn jewelry fabrication, you're going to learn wax casting, you're going to learn stone setting, metal forging, jewelry repair, using all the machinery, tools, and the safety protocols that are required when you're working in a jewelry profession. You're going to learn enameling, you're going to learn diamond, gemstone marketing, buying, pricing, diamond identification and grading. You're going to learn about the international diamond market, conceptual design. You're going to learn about technical drawing. So by the end of this 2-year diploma program, you're ready either to start off on your own venture in jewelry making, or you might end up working for a renowned jewelry organization in town or anywhere in British Columbia or in Canada. So as I said, Karen is the department head, has a lot of knowledge about the nitty-gritties of the program. So just gave you an overview of what you're going to learn in the program, and the fact that it's a 2-year full-time diploma program. So feel free to ask specific questions, and we will be very happy to answer them. Or if we can't answer them, we will direct you to Karen's email. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Raj. Do you guys all know how to use your reactions in Zoom? Would you be able to tell me who's here for fashion? Like clap, use your little clappers, applause, or yell if you prefer. Anyone here for graphic design? Maybe it's, oh, that's Michelle is here for graphic design. And what about, I think we have, obviously we had a couple of music questions. That's great. And then now Raj has shared with you about the jewelry program. So if you have questions specifically for Karen, Erin posted her email in the chat. That's awesome. And here's some upcoming info sessions that you might like to know about. So you can see fashion is coming up May 26th at 5:30. Is there anything you wanted to say about that, Sarah, or is it on Zoom or?
Yes, it is on Zoom, and our info sessions are combined with a webinar. So there's always a topic that I'm going to be covering, as well as just kind of discussing our program area. And I'm just trying to remember what I'm doing on May 26th, which is the fashion zeitgeist. So it's learning about the history of trends and exploring what the defining moment, look of the moment for 2021 could be.
Thanks, that's great. And I see graphic design also has something coming up on May 18th, and I'm guessing yours is also on Zoom, John?
Yeah, it'll most likely be on Zoom. As for the content, I would direct you to Elaine. She's our department admin, and she would have that information in regards to that session.
Elaine, are you on the call?
I believe Elaine isn't here today, but
Okay.
I believe, yeah, if you send an email, then we can give you some more information on that.
Great, thank you. And then there's the URL to sign up is at vcc.ca/info. Lawrence has something coming up April 28th. Lawrence, did you want to speak to that at all? And maybe we also,
Sure,
I
yeah.
think, had a question for you too.
Yeah,
so.
I've been answering the questions in chat a fair bit.
Perfect.
So hopefully those are good answers. I think coming to an info session is the best way to learn about anything at VCC. April 28th, and then the next one I believe is May 12th. So we're coming at you with a fair number of these info sessions. They're fairly informal. They're led by Dr. Deirdre Morgan, who's one of my colleagues, and she can answer lots of your questions at that point. So we'll have those, coming up. There's lots of information there.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So finally, jewelry, we have Tuesday, May 18th at 10 a.m. There's a session for that. And then I just wanted to direct you to our social channels. And I think what we were going to do at the end is Erin will be able to drop this into the chat, the participants slideshow that you've just watched. There are advisors on the call, so if there's something that we missed, please feel free to ask away. And you can see here at VCC, these are some of the services that are available. You know, obviously there's advisors to answer your questions. We have a good financial aid office if you need a little help. The Indigenous services are great. There are disability services, which include things like, I've spoken to students when they've been having mental health issues. And if you go to disability services and you talk to them, maybe you can get some help spacing out your exams or some support on quiet time. Like, just never forget to ask if you need something, which includes there's counseling services. We have free professional tutoring. The next steps for you, if you're interested or you're ready to sign up, a good idea is to definitely go to the info session so you learn more about the program in depth, meet with an advisor. There's the information about applying or registering. And I did want to tell you that there is a waiver of application fee for domestic students. So $35 savings if you use the promo code that's shown on the bottom of the screen, which says info 0421. That will get you the $35 off your application form. And the chance to win, this is the important one, because as the person that works in the foundation, we give money to the college to distribute to students for scholarships, bursaries, and training materials. So this is legit. You could win $1,000 tuition credit. So make sure you check this out. Go to vcc.ca/experience, and your code to enter to win is first with a capital F -choice. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. Who doesn't need $1,000 off their tuition? And I think we're at the end of our formal presentation. We're only at 1:31. So if there was anybody that wanted to ask something, you can always just turn on your mic now and maybe speak freely. It sometimes is just faster and easier. So I invite those of you that are here and you've got a advisor, or you've got a project person to ask, program person to ask, any questions? Or we've got Marvin, the alumnus, sitting up there who's helped us out today. Questions?
Yeah, hi. I have one
Hi.
for the jewelry art and design. I was just wondering, for the program right now, would you be doing some things online, like for designing, or would you still be in like your workspace, but it would be like pretty spaced out considering our like where we are right now with the pandemic?
Is it okay if I answer that, Raj?
Yes, go ahead.
Actually, we did a video on a jewelry student last November. And so I had the opportunity to visit the campus and see what was going on. And I was super impressed with how organized, how clean, everything seemed very safe. It was a very small cohort. Like I think they split up into groups that are smaller, spread out through the studio. I was very impressed with how well run it was. And then I know they do some theory online, but they were actually also, you know, in there firing up a torch, working. So, and then feel free, we can also connect you directly with the department head who can give you more information about what a day in the life looks like. But if you're interested, I'll put my email in the bottom here, and I'm happy to send you a link to the video so you can actually see what the environment looks like.
All right, that would be great. Thank you.
No worries. Did anyone else have a question? Don't be shy.
There's one in the chat. So Michelle's asking, would you say that graphic design graduates are entering the workforce with more graduates cohorts than job vacancies available? Is it highly competitive? So just to kind of shine a bit of light, like graphic design is a big umbrella term. So there are like you can do very popular disciplines such as like UX UI, and there's a huge demand for that. It is a bit competitive, but you can also do more niche programs like, for example, packaging that aren't as highly competitive. They're usually for graduates. We have a pretty good rate of graduates being able to find work. But as well, a lot of our graduates also tend to start up their own businesses. They tend to freelance as well. So there's a lot of opportunity within the discipline itself.
Can I ask
Also-
Marvin, did you do some freelancing?
Yeah, I was actually doing a little bit of freelancing before and during my time at VCC. And then once I graduated, I got into my job right away, thankfully. But I still continued doing freelancing from there. So I was gonna say, I feel like with the way design is now, if the more different things that you can touch on, the more likely it is that you'll be hired at a different company, because a lot of companies are looking for designers that can do multiple different things and have like a wide range of things that they can do to be a little bit more broad.
Michelle, is that satisfactory? Is there anything else you wanted to ask? Perfect, thanks. Excellent.
Excuse me, I have a quick question about your music programs for the certificate. I would like to know how long is the program and what is the requirements?
Lawrence, are you still here?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Roshnik. We're just trying to track down Lawrence. Sorry, I think he might have exited. Aaron, am I missing him, or do you see him?
No, I don't see him. Maybe the call dropped or something. I'll keep my
Yeah.
eye out for him.
Would you do us a favor, Roshnik? Could you put your email into the chat? If you want to direct it just to Aaron, if you're not comfortable, we can make sure it goes to Lawrence, and then he can answer your question specifically by email. Is that good?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else have a question? Okay, what about before we close out, presenters, was there anything you went, darn, I wish I had have said this? You have a few seconds to jump in and do so now.
Yeah, can you provide Lauren's email in the chat so we can?
Sure, that's probably the easiest way. Erin, are you good with that?
Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Okay, I think then if everyone has had their questions answered, I'll give you one last chance. Okay, great. If there's something that you completely hazed on and you wish you'd asked, I'm going to just put my email on the bottom here as well. You can always just send it to me generically and I'll forward it on to the appropriate person. Advisors, is there anything you wanted to say before we close out?
Well, if you're planning to come in for September, get the process started as soon as possible. Do not wait because seats are going to get full if they're not yet full. So if you're interested for September, start the process right away. You have the waiver code, so this is a chance to get the process started. So if we could get the waiver code again on screen, that would really help.
Okay, so you mean
The
promo code for the
application.
waiving,
Yeah.
right? So this is to waive the application fee for domestic students. I'll just stick it in the bottom here. Oh, Erin's done it. She's way ahead of me. Thank you, Erin. Okay, well, thanks everyone. Thank you to our presenters. Thank you to our supporters, and thank you to all you future students. We hope to see you, like actually see you on campus one day would be awesome. We're looking forward to coming back more fulsomely in the fall. So thanks so much. Have a great day, you guys.
Just a reminder, there are some advising sessions on this afternoon. I've posted them in the chat. So we've got the advising drop-in session that's going on until 5 o'clock today. That's the links in the chat for the Zoom. There's an international education session today until 2 o'clock. You've got 20 minutes in there. And I also posted, if you're an Indigenous student, there's an Indigenous drop-in session today as well. Thanks.
Fabulous. Thanks, Erin. Okay, bye everyone.